Earlier this week, prior to Randolph College taking on Guilford, I had a chance to catch up with Allison Nichols, head coach of the Randolph College Wildcats. Wildcats will host Washington and Lee on Saturday. But let's talk about the whole season as a whole and more with Allison Nichols, head coach of the Randolph College Wildcats, on the Sports Buffet podcast.
Big things happening for Randolph College in the women's basketball front, talking to the head coach, Allison Nichols. And Coach, to get your first head coaching win at Randolph earlier this season, take me through that experience.
It was really exciting. It was on the road. We went up to Philadelphia to play Bryn Mawr, and we'd been working really, really hard for our first month of practice, and actually started off pretty well against Meredith College here at home, and we're cutting into their lead towards the end of the game to make it competitive, and just didn't come up with a win. So it was really nice to go on the road for our second game to Bryn Mawr and bring home a victory.
What good are you seeing out of your club so far this season?
A lot, actually. We are really, really young. We start 4 freshmen and primarily play all freshmen other than one senior and one junior that have been seeing big minutes for us. So, we are experiencing some growing pains here or there as our freshmen are learning to play at the college level, but I've been very, very pleased with the effort that they've put out so far.
With a young team, that's got to be a little bit of a grind on the leadership factor. Where are you seeing your leaders come from, and how are they leading?
I definitely think that's one area that we are struggling a little bit is leadership. We don't have a lot of players that have competed in the ODAC for many, many years and know what it takes. So we're struggling a little bit from that avenue. But Lauren French, our lone senior, has done a good job of stepping up and being a leader. And Olivia Johnson, who was our starting point guard last year, has moved into a reserve role, but she's also done a good job of being a leader and going hard every day in practice. And a couple of our freshmen have also stepped up into leadership roles as well.
The ODAC is a tough league. I'm not telling you any secret by saying that. When you guys take on one of the top teams and the result doesn't come out your way, talk about the kids' confidence. Are you still seeing, the sun's going to come up tomorrow and the head up, or is it more of a hanging head type of situation?
I actually, again, along with that, I think I've been very pleased this year. Any setback that we've had, whether it's just a bad day of practice or a game where we didn't feel like we went out and competed at the highest level that we could, the players have really responded the next day, and they seem to be very eager to meet every challenge. And I do think they realize that we may be a year away from really being able to compete with some of those top teams, but that there are some very winnable games on our schedule, and they come to work every single day and prepare for whoever our next opponent is.
Since you've gotten here, how much have you seen some of your girls, maybe, and even the freshmen, so to speak, to understand the Allison Nichols way of basketball, to where the IQ is elevated?
Again, I've been pleased with that as well. It certainly does help to have some returners in the system and know, kind of some of my expectations as far as practice goes and what type of offense we're going to be running, some different types of defenses we're going to throw out there. So, it certainly does help to have some people who have been in my system for a year. And again, I've been pleased with our freshmen and the effort that they've put forth to learn, not only to just go through a college practice, but also to compete at the college level.
Talk about some of these freshmen that we may see on the floor for Randolph.
I definitely think our floor general, Bree Lowry, is our freshman point guard, and she's just done a tremendous job for us this year. She does a great job of running the team. She's one of the best defenders we have. She is by far the hardest worker I think I've ever come across, whether it be playing or coaching. She lives in the gym. She goes as hard as she can go in practice, and that's certainly what you always like to see from one of the best players on the team. I think it just kind of raises the level of play from everybody else. Also, our starting center, Megan Russell, is a strong post presence for us, and again, she's one that's really learning what it takes to play at the college level and the effort that needs to put forth day in and day out, but she's been doing a good job of learning and growing through that. Also, a couple athletes, Chelsea Tyler, Dylan Peterson on the wing, have done a great job for us, and Jensen Hoover, in the post has also given us some great minutes. She's coming off an 11-rebound game against Lynchburg College. And Bonnie Bishop as well has come off the bench and scored some good points for us this year.
Any surprises that you've seen throughout the ODAC this season, whether it be watching film or just in person, teams that maybe surprised one way or another?
I guess I would say yes and no. I think on paper everybody realized that Guilford was probably the most talented team. Everyone was just kind of trying to wait and see what they were going to put out there, and I've been really impressed just watching them on film from this past weekend. They are, in my mind, the best team in the league by far. And again, I was anticipating Virginia Wesleyan to be strong this year. I knew they brought in a couple good freshmen. They've got some great seniors, and they're up there at the top of the league as well. Macon is good as always, and I think EMU is on any given night is going to be pretty tough to beat as well.
And an opponent you're going to get to see this weekend, Washington Lee. They have a real tough force with Becca Bolton. What stands out to you about Coach King's squad?
I think the biggest thing with them is they've been in the league for a while. Some of their primary players are seniors who, not only have had a lot of success in the ODAC, but have won an ODAC